Make it loud for the very funny Josh Johnson.
I don't know if y'all saw it yet, but Justin Timberlake got arrested. Justin Timberlake got arrested for a DWI in what he was in the Hamptons. How fast do you have to be going as a white man in the Hamptons to get pulled over? Because I was reading the story, and this man gets pulled over, and then I guess his friends noticed that he left or whatever, so then they also left, and then they saw him getting pulled over, so they pulled up, and they were trying to like beg the cop to cut him a break. They're like, he's I don't know if he was close to home, but they were like making excuses for him. And in my head, even in that moment, I was like, why didn't y'all give him a ride? Like, that's... Justin Timberlake is so rich. How do you have all that money and you don't have a driver? That's crazy. That's so irresponsible. You got all the NSYNC money. Could have hired one of them to drive. I was reading the story. It was heartbreaking. Not even as a, I don't know what's happening. I truly don't. I truly have no idea. But like, that shit sounded like an attack. God, who makes that their alarm? God damn. That's the most savage shit. That's it feels like my high school bully came to the show. That is wild. No, you're fine. Life happens, but you gotta pick a different one, because that feels so crazy. Because the first time I heard it, I was like, maybe I'm a little too hot in this hoodie. Maybe I'm about to faint because I feel like I'm outside right now. And then I heard it again, I was like, nah, that's crickets. That's... Jeez, what? I didn't know we had beef like that. You were over here like... And I'm gonna sit in the front too. I got his ass. No. No, I got him. Damn, no, it feels like an ex paid you. That is so wild. No, I'm gonna wait till he think he making one of his little points. Nah, I got his ass. Oh, God. Oh. No. I don't know. I feel weird about it. I feel like maybe you look at Justin Timberlake and whatever hex Britney Spears put on is working. It's working overtime. And fame is a very interesting thing. Fame is a mystery. It really is, because Justin Timberlake is doing an arena tour. A whole arena tour. But when he got pulled over and they asked him to step out of the car, the cop didn't know who he was. The cop didn't know who he was because the cop was too young. And I don't know about you, but that hurt me. I was reading the article and it said that the cop was too young to know, and I think I got 3 wrinkles on my knuckles. Right then, I was like, No, it was absolutely insane. Doesn't know who he was. Like if only Justin had been pulled over by a single mom of two. You know what I mean? Just a millennial single mom of two. She would have been like, I'll give you a ride. Come on, Justin. No, put the lights on and everything. Woo, woo, we gotta get Justin home. Then they took that man to jail to take a picture. That picture, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not an album cover. That face that Justin made is the most encapsulating face of a man in trouble I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like you can see in his eyes, he thinking about how he'll have to call Jessica. Whoa. That was wild. And then this is my conspiracy theory. There's nothing to back up what I'm saying. There's not a shred of evidence and there's not a word from anyone that backs up what I'm saying. But I think, okay. Do y'all remember Justin? You remember that decade that Justin wanted to be black? Do you remember that? Do you remember that decade that Justin was like, y'all remember that, right? That I feel like at first when he got there and they flashed the picture, and also I'm sure that they turned the brightness up extra on mug shots because like people who you could tell were ready don't look ready when they take the picture. That thing is so bright, it must be prolonged, make you open your eyes to be like, huh. Like it's. I think after he took the picture and he's also sobering up a bit, he was like, wait. This is just street cred. Let me go ahead and milk it, right? Because there have been varying reports on whether or not Justin was handcuffed, right? And personally, my conspiracy, I don't think he was. I feel like Justin was like, look, I know I'm about to go, but can you cuff me real quick? And the cop was like, what? It's like, can you cuff me real quick? Like, just, you know, there's gonna be people waiting out there. Can you cuff me real quick? And he's like, I don't even know you. Like, please just do it. He's like, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll just stand in front of the door, hold the door open. He was like, okay, all right. And then he walked out, and if you look at the thing, he's got his hands clasped together, but you don't see any like loose chain dangling. And when you zoom into the picture, it looked like a little bit of leather on that. Like, that's a bracelet. That's a bracelet, but then JT over here doing his best Malcolm X impression. My man. Another black man locked up. Yeah. Actually, okay. Did y'all see the white woman that got in trouble for saying the N-word? I know, you said which one. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I say the because this was the for me. It's like other people were saying it, people were saying it all the time, but this one felt especially crazy, so I followed the story because it is captivating. Okay, so basically, okay, where do I even start? There's a thing called trad wife. Now, trad wife is short for traditional wife, right? Trad wife is like this content thing that they do on TikTok. It's spilled over to Instagram a little bit, and it's basically women doing like stuff around the house while telling women to be better women, right? It's just like, why don't you be a lady while she makes a pie or something? I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not who watches it. But basically, there was this young white woman that was over here cooking something. It didn't look done. And maybe it was done. Maybe she's bad at it. I don't know. But it did not look done. But then she's talking about her friends, and then she says, because then some of my friends out here are just like, out here dating these guys, and broke ass niggas, right? And she says it without missing a beat. She says it like you're not gonna hear it, right? So then, of course, everyone who saw this, it started this frenzy online, right? And so there were all these people, she did it on TikTok, there was all these people commenting, replying, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Are you trolling? All stuff like that, right? And then she makes another video, and she's like, look, I made a video earlier that offended a community or something, and and I've really listened to the feedback, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really give a care. I don't know. It's like, so then they found her job, right? Which is crazy, because you a trad wife. Why you working? Why? You know what I mean? Why are you're supposed to be a traditional, why are you working at all? You can't trad wife on the side. You can't. There's no such thing as halfway crooks. You know what I mean? You gotta be all in or all out, right? And so then they found her job, then they got her fired from her job, right? So then everyone was talking about how, she clearly got fired, even though they don't say her name. They issued a press release, because why else would they do it? And they were like, yeah, certain individual's not working here anymore. So then she starts trying to cozy up to Newsmax and One Nation News and just a lot of the alt-right on Twitter and everything. And she takes this spin of I was canceled, right? So she gets on Newsmax real quick, but she also just doesn't quite have the juice. You know what I mean by that? She doesn't quite have the presence and the energy of a real racist that's gonna be a newscaster. You know what I mean? She just doesn't have it. When you're watching her, you're like, she's saying bad things and they're annoying, but I'm not angry. She just doesn't have the oomph to get me there. You know what I mean? I've just never seen diet racism before, but that was it. So then she makes more videos trying to double down harder. And in these upcoming videos, she just gets way worse with it, gets even more bigoted with it. So she's tweeting the N-word all the time. She's been tweeting the N-word nonstop since she got fired, right? And now she's making videos where she's saying the F-word, right? And so she's just going after everybody, just trying to prove how terrible that she is, right? And so then she starts trying to cozy up to a lot of these, especially neo-Nazis as much as she can. And then a turn takes place. An incredible turn that I could not have predicted. One of the most insane things that has maybe happened so far this century, the neo-Nazis start rejecting her as a psyop. Because they feel what I feel. They see the video and they're like, you don't mean it though. It's not... It's not coming out of your stomach, you know what I mean? It's not, you're not even saying it with bass, you don't, and so then they were like, no, don't trust her, okay? Don't listen to her, don't follow her. She working for the CIA, she probably a Fed. They all turned on her. They started bullying her. It was absolutely insane. It was one of those things where then she keeps trying to cozy up to him. She keeps trying to take pictures with him. She's going to events and stuff like that. And some of the ones that roll with her are rolling with her in real time, and they're making fun of how other people are making fun of her, but you can tell she's still not in yet, She's not with them hard. But then there are some people that can't stand her so much. This happened a week ago. So in the course of 3 days, they can't stand her so much that they start digging up her old tweets, right? So then another thing I never would have seen coming, they dig up her old tweets and they find old, not racist tweets from 2 years ago where she was telling somebody, hey, that's actually appropriation. You might not want to do that. And so now she getting canceled by the neo-Nazis for old, not racist tweets. So then she over here fighting for her life, trying N-word, F-word, everything, just throwing it all out there, trying to see what sticks. And then other people will comment under her on Twitter is this you, bitch? Miss Stolen Land. You know? And she just played it. She played it poorly. That's what happened. She could have had a real shot. She could have. But she doesn't have enough of the real. You can tell she's not really racist. I know it's a weird thing to say about somebody who's been saying the N-word nonstop for a week, but you can just tell she doesn't have the fire in her. You know? That's not how you do it. You were making racist people uncomfortable. There were racist people commenting under her like, this is uncouth. That's not how you do it. If you really want to be somebody as a racist, if you really want to make waves as a bigot, you start out slow. You start with a bunch of slow and steady dog whistles over decades. You know what I mean? You never say the word outright. You throw out a thug here every once in a while. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, like on a holiday, you can get real crazy with it. You can do like a animals or something. It's like, get people going, you know? Plant your feet, but don't dig too deep. And then after a while, you know, you start to ingratiate yourself. They start to be like, hey, she's one of us. And then they bring you in, and maybe they bring you in on a temporary basis, and they give you like a little guest spot every now and again. And then after a couple decades, you get a hosting gig, you know? Because be honest, like if a week from now, Megyn Kelly said the N-word, we'd be like, yup. We expected that. She's been earning it over decades. The expectation lands right on the strip perfectly. And then we also find out that she might be single, so you're not only not a trap wife, you're not a wife. What are you doing? Where's your man right now? Like you weren't a trap wife. You were working. You were a mom, but you were working, and you're a single working mom. That's a bigger demographic to appeal to. She really put herself in the position where she really needs a husband like this.
I guess we're all doing better than Diddy. Oh, what a week. All right, if you don't know, I'll try to bring you up to speed very quickly. Basically, Diddy has been the devil for decades. And it's really only this year that everything's sort of coming to roost, right? It sort of started with a lawsuit brought by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. And, in the lawsuit is detailing horrific things you will not, you will feel sick if you read the lawsuit. And Diddy said it was all a lie. Just nothing but disgusting lies about his character, and he settled the lawsuit the next day. I don't know about you, but I've never been lied on so hard that I was like, you better stop lying about me. I will pay you as much as you want for you to stop telling me all the stuff I supposedly did. I want to make sure that this is, how much does the check need to be? It won't be in escrow. It'll be in a check form in the morning. But I will pay you as much as it takes for you to stop lying before people start looking into what you said because everybody else is saying it. Well, no, it's crazy. And even more recently, more allegations and more investigations have been going into Diddy being alleged. Legally, you have to say it. Being an alleged sex trafficker and everything, to the point where, this week, the FBI raided all of his houses. All of his houses at once, just to make sure, every single one at the same time, make sure he wasn't house hopping or anything, just going everywhere. They grabbed all the homes and the homies and they pulled everybody outside. And it was truly astounding to watch, because if you've ever watched, like I watch a lot of news, so I remember like the Roger Stone raid. Anytime the FBI or Homeland Security does a raid, it's a weird hierarchy that you notice, because they'll show up to do the raid, right? So FBI or Homeland Security, they'll be fitted up, right? Top to bottom, they got the AR-15, they got the vest on, full body armor, they got the boots, they got the helmet. And then sometimes they actually have backup. Backup is SWAT. So then SWAT is also there dressed like SWAT, and we know what SWAT is dressed like. And then it will just be the regular police. And it kind of made me feel bad for the local police, because, like, imagine you show up to work and all your coworkers look like Call of Duty that day. And you just have to show up with your chest. That's unfair to them. Like, if I was a cop, I'd be like, y'all ain't got any extra ARs in the trunk or anything. I can't hold something. Y'all just showed up all prepared. Y'all said he dangerous. You know what? I'm gonna wait next to the car. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all, this is bull. I'm not doing. And truly, watch any FBI raid. All the local police are next to the cars in the street. They're like, no, they gonna get him. They gonna get him. Oh, you better watch out, because they coming. All right. But yeah. They raided all that dude's houses at one time, pulled people out, were like, interrogating people, were trying to look for stuff in the houses. And meanwhile, a lot of people have been waiting on Diddy's downfall for a long time, so they track his movements. And I want to take a quick second, because a lot of people, as this is mainly like a black thing, knowing about Diddy. Like, it feels like the world didn't know, but black people, we knew. We were like, nah. Something happening with him that seems off. I don't know if I love that either. That's just been us for like 2 decades with Diddy just being like, did y'all see that? You know what I mean? And so a lot of other people are catching up. So then there are things, when anything like this comes out, there are things where people ask, like, why is everybody talking about it now, coming forward now, stuff like that. I want to be clear. Diddy is not like a Harvey Weinstein in that way, right? Because with Harvey Weinstein, everyone started coming forward, and then people were like, why didn't y'all say something sooner? Look at him. We would have believed you. Like, we don't do a good enough job of believing women, but with Harvey, I'd be like, whatever y'all say he did, he did. I can just see it from his build that he did whatever. But Diddy's a very different thing. Diddy's scary. A lot of people are scared of Diddy. And you want to know one of the reasons why people are scared of Diddy? Because of where he comes from. There's gangsters, then there's gangsters. Okay? Diddy's dad has ties to Frank Lucas. If you don't know Frank Lucas is who Denzel played in American Gangster. That's who Diddy's dad hung out with. That's who Diddy's dad did business with. So when you ever rewatch American Gangster and you see that scene when Frank Lucas, Denzel, stands up and in the middle, broad daylight, middle of the sidewalk, a dude disrespects him and he pulls out a gun and he shoots him in the head and kills him in front of everybody because he knows nobody will say anything. That's who Diddy's dad ran with, right? That's who taught him his like ABCs and stuff. You know what I mean? When you see that scene, that's a bone-chilling scene because it happened. That happened. He did that. He killed someone broad daylight because he knew no one around would say anything, right? So when you see that scene and you see Denzel do that, just know that one of the extras in the background, at least one of those kids, is Diddy. That's terrific, you know? And that's why people are getting so scared of him, because we know that he just moves differently. You know what I mean? And a lot of people have been waiting on his downfall for a long time. So when the FBI was raiding, people were like, where is Diddy? And you know how these kids are now? They're very smart. They can track anything. They track Diddy's plane. And so while the FBI is raiding all of his homes at one time, Diddy's plane is leaving America. And I don't mean getting fueled up. I mean, the plane is over just blue. That's the ocean. The plane is gone, right? And the plane is headed for Antigua. Now, Antigua is still extradite. So a lot of people are like, why would he be going over to Antigua? Then other people said, hey, maybe he's landing in Antigua because everybody knows that's his plane. He's going to land in Antigua. He's going to get on a friend's smaller plane, and he's going to go to a country that doesn't extradite, like Bali, right? So then that plane lands in Antigua. It comes right back. When it lands, turns out Diddy was never on the plane. He was in Miami the whole time. This man is a terrible rapper and an incredible villain. I've been thrown for a loop consistently with him. Like, this man should be in a James Bond movie. A lot of people are just waking up to how Diddy is, you know. We knew. You know how you know that we knew? Diddy's the only black billionaire we didn't root for. It's a very big deal when you get a black billionaire. We're always like, oh, yeah, oh, he did it. Yeah, I remember when that guy, you know that guy that gave the commencement speech at Morehouse, and at the end of the speech, he said he was going to pay for all the kids' student loans. That moment went viral. It was crazy. Kids were crying and everything, jumping up, screaming. I looked it up. I found the guy. His name was Robert Smith. Turns out he's a billionaire. He didn't give me any money, but I was at home like, we got another one. Diddy became a billionaire. We were like, good for you. I don't know about y'all, but I absolutely love when home drama spills out into the world. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot of reality television, so I love when a real life couple just can't take it anymore. Yeah, I mean, like they have to have it out, and they have to have it out now. And now is here. And here is where I am. So I get a free show. You know? I think it happens a lot in New York City because we don't have space. Like, y'all have real homes here. Y'all can be like, we will discuss this later. In New York, we don't have that. We're like, I want to argue in private at home, but home don't have no elbow room. I want to argue where I can move a little bit because I'm passionate with my movements. Now, if I'm arguing at home, one time I was arguing at home, and I went like this to be like, oh, wait, you know, just like to hold it up, and then I hit my elbow, and there's no way to look right when you just stand there like. You know, so sometimes couples just have to have it out in that moment, you know? And I was walking. I try to do this at least once a week. I was on a walk with no AirPods in, right? Just really like be around in the world, you know? And I think it's an important thing to do because it opens you up to what's happening around you. And I would have missed this had I had my AirPods in. I was walking, and as I'm walking, I see this dude bust out of the door of his house, right? He's running down the stoop of his brownstone, no shirt on, anything, looking terrified, like, what? And so I turn and I see what I can only imagine is his girlfriend or wife running behind him. And I was like, all right, this seems awesome. Let's see how it goes. And she has something in her hand, but it doesn't look like a gun, so I'm like, I'm willing to stay and see this through. Cause you know if it's a gun, people get upset, they miss. Now she done shot me, I'm bleeding out. I'm not even part of your love. I'm laying there holding my wound, y'all done worked it out. Like, this could all be for nothing. It's just she's holding something, but I can't see what it is, right? And as he's running down the stoop, she runs down with him, and she gets to this specific step, and then she goes like this, right? She goes like this, and then a piece of what she was holding flies out and hits him in the back, and he goes, and then she lets go of the other thing that she was holding. It slides down the stairs, and when it slides down, it's close enough for me to see. And when I look, it was the sleeve of a Hot Pocket. This woman done burned the hell out of this man with a Hot Pocket. In the known universe, there are about 4 states of matter, right? There's gas, there's liquid, and there's solid. There's also plasma. Now, plasma can reach a temperature of about 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and just under that. Close second is Hot Pocket juice. Hot Pocket juice must be studied. This will burn your soul. Hot Pocket juice is far too hot. It is absolute insanity, okay? Because we've all been there. We've all been there where you were hungry, you heat up the Hot Pocket, that's gonna be quick, and then you went ahead and you put it higher than the instructions say, because you know when you follow the instructions, the middle cold. So then, you put it at least 2 minutes higher than the instructions say, because you got a different type of microwave. Your microwave doesn't work like the box says. And so you put an extra 2 minutes, but now we're into heated territory that no one, even the people at the company, are aware of, right? And then you pull the Hot Pocket out, you hold it by the sleeve, and you wouldn't even be in this situation if you could just be a gentleman and wait, right? But you're hungry, you're greedy, you can't help yourself, and so you blow, you do blow. You do. You give it a good try, too. You blowing the bread. You're not doing anything for that juice inside. That juice is still bubbling like lava. Wait to bust out. And so then you take your first bite, and because you're hungry, because you're being greedy, you bite too hard, the juice pops out, it hits your lip, and you go, ah! Now you coughing because steam coming out of your mouth because you got the corner bread in your mouth with all the juice burning everything. Burning teeth. Just burning. Inexplicably, just burning and burning and burning. It's terrible. This woman was running after this man. We don't know what he did. I didn't stay for an interview. This woman was running down the stairs after this man and had the Hot Pocket sleeve in her hand and reared back like an ancient weapon. Reared back. And flung the Hot Pocket out. Flung it like she had done it before. Like, she must be burning him weekly to have this sort of aim. If this was a game show, I could never sling it and hit what I wanted to hit. And she hit, not only did she hit him in the middle of the back. She hit him in the spot. So it's in just enough of a position that he can't really reach it. Like it's not here, it's not here. Like this man is fighting for his life right now. She gave him 32nd degree burns. And my man's like, ah! And I want to help, but I'm like, I'm not going to burn my fingers. Like, And then I had never stopped walking the entire time, but I did take off into a brisk jog. Because as he was holding the railing of his stoop, I saw her lift another hot pocket. I was like, let me leave before I witness a murder.
Have y'all been keeping up with this Jonah Hill thing? Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. So real quick, if you don't know what it is, Jonah Hill's ex put out a bunch of his text messages to her while they were dating, and she was a surfer. She still is, and then they were dating while she was surfing, and it's him being like, why you gotta surf around men, and why you got, and she's like a surfer and a surf instructor. It's like, why you gotta surf with men, and why you gotta post pictures of yourself surfing in a bikini and all this. So it was all this shit like that, right? And it just, you can see a decline in the text messages where he's clearly so worried about being cheated on, he's not making sense. He's like, why you gotta surf with dude? Because then if you're surfing and then he's surfing, what if y'all start surfing on each other? You know what I mean? And then like y'all are surfing together, and what if you get surf in your mouth? And then now you were just covered in surf, and you come home and you're like got surf on you. I was like, nigga, are you all right? Like, you know, so there's been a lot of backlash about him being narcissistic and misogynistic and everything. And I think Jonah Hill committed a cardinal sin. He really did. Jonah Hill told a woman what to do while being an ugly motherfucker. Can't do that shit. You cannot do that shit. Like, look at the text and then look at his face. You cannot tell anybody what to do, sir. That's too much bass in your text right now for that hairline you got, you know? I'm not gonna lie, if John Hamm had sent those same texts, if John Hamm was like, I don't want you talking to any other men, you'd be like, okay, daddy. Like, yes. Did y'all see the Alabama brawl? Yo, who knew Wakanda was in Alabama? That was crazy. You know, that was wild. So many people came out of nowhere. That shit was like Black January 6th. That was like, that was crazy. If you didn't see the video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it really quick. Basically, there was this one guy. He was an employee of the place, right? And he was like asking these people to move their boat, you know? So it was a black employee, but he was asking these people who happened to be white that had the boat to move their boat, and they wouldn't move the boat. I don't even know if this part is true, but I heard that the riverfront boat that was waiting to dock had been waiting for like 40 minutes because these people refused to move, right? So finally, he just keeps going, like, you gotta move the boat, you gotta move the boat. They get out of their boat, they're cursing at him, and he's not backing down. He's like, you have to move the boat. I work here. You have to move the boat. And then they just keep cursing at him. Finally, they put hands on him, and then they start fighting him. And he did his best. He held his own for quite a while. So it's not like they beat his ass, but they were clearly ganging up on this dude, right? And, you know, a lot of people, as soon as they saw the video, they got upset. I got upset once. I thought it was going to bum me out just seeing like 5 white dudes ganging up on this like middle-aged black dude and everything. And some people were upset about the racial part immediately. But I'm not going to lie. I was distracted. I wasn't. I didn't hate these people because they were ganging up on them and they were white. I hated them because they had a boat. You know what I mean? This isn't just a race thing. These rich fucks with a boat are trying to beat up a working class person. Is insane. You know, it made me furious. And then they started fighting them, and then like other people came. And, you know, a lot of black people already saw what was happening. So then when the riverfront boat docked and other black people who saw what was happening, they all just swarmed. It looked like, like that one episode in Game of Thrones where, you know, they were losing, but then just more just came down the mountain. It was like, I was like, God damn, okay, wow. Send in the troops, apparently. I should back up. When the fight started, the initial fight where the dude was getting ganged up on, he just threw his hat. Just threw it, and that almost felt like a signal. That was, as a black person, I didn't know that was our call to arms. I didn't know this was like, oh, okay, all right, we go now. That was wild to begin with. Then it was crazy because then so many people swarmed in, it turned into a huge brawl. And I don't know if you saw a video, but there was one person that wanted to help when they saw him getting jumped so badly that this nigga swam. Jumped in the water. From the camera angle, we don't know where he came from. I'd like to think he came from Africa. I'd like to think he started swimming 6 weeks ago in preparation. Because look, if you know, the history of black people swimming, especially in the South, you know that we're not known for it. You know what I mean? And so I'm not gonna critique his swimming because I was just happy to see another black dude swim. That's just, every one of us swimming is a W, okay? But I do have to comment because he wasn't swimming normal. Did you see him swim? He wasn't swimming regular. This was not regular swimming, right? This man wasn't swimming to the fight. This man was punching the water till he got there. I knew he was gonna whoop ass when he got out of the water because he would. I've never seen someone punch water till they got to their location. That was so crazy. Go back and watch the video. This man punching with horsepower. Like, I've never seen anything like it. And then he gets out of the water, starts whooping ass, everybody whooping ass and everything. So you know that those white people, when it started fighting, then started more fighting, you know they were relieved when the cops got there, but they must have been conflicted because half the cops were black. Like that's a situation where even when the cops arrive, you're like, ooh, whose side are you on? Because I was kind of doing a thing before you got here. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what's so wild. Because I think also I've tried to put my mind in. I've tried to put myself in the mind of each person that was in the video in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a terrifying thing. To get jumped is a terrifying thing. Then the person swimming. Then I'm just trying to think about every angle that I could think about it from. I'm not gonna lie. That must have been a huge surprise because you out here ganging up on this one dude with your buddies, and then before you know it, there's just like 50 black people. That's. Listen, I'm telling you right now, let's say y'all just blinked, and when you opened your eyes, there were 50 black people behind me. I'm not even saying you'd be scared, but you'd be surprised. You'd be like, wow, that was fast. That's all you'd say. You know? Because that's the thing. That's, I think, the strangest part, one of the weirdest parts, like when you start watching the video, let's say you start watching the video, you had no context, nobody told you what was gonna happen, you hadn't seen any of the memes yet. The craziest thing about what happens is that, especially as a black person, I think some people are curious why black people have been memeing the shit out of it and everything. It's because if you know the South and you know the history of 5 white guys ganging up on a black guy and how that usually goes, you know, especially when they have enough money for a boat. Usually doesn't turn out well, you know what I mean? And so this was a different thing. This is a different outcome than we've ever really seen before, you know? Because I'll be honest with you. Let's say we're in a different time and there's no camera phones and they were able to leave before the cops got there. They would have just beat up that dude and left, you know? And that's my thing where it's like, okay, yeah, whoop their ass, we all laugh, we all celebrate, whatever, but like, fuck up that boat. Like, fuck up the... What are you doing? Like, bust up the bow or something. Like, rip a rudder out, please. I do think that would hurt them more than the ass whooping. They just be standing there and looking like skippers. Not the boat! You know?
You know what's actually crazy? I thought about this weekend. You know what I've never done at all in my life? I had to really think about it. Never once in my life have I Googled Jada Pinkett Smith. So why do I know so much? Why do any of us know so much? Isn't that crazy? I've never even Googled Jada and Will. I've never sought any of this information. I know so much about them, it feels like we're related. It's devastating. I don't know if y'all saw the most recent interview. She's given her 1,000th. And in it, she says that she says so many things. First of all, she said that she sold crack when she lived in Baltimore, which is like believable. That's a very entry-level job in Baltimore. That part I was like, and? But then she also said her and Will have been separated for like 7 years. Which, what? She also said that Tupac is her soulmate. It's like she's going out of her way to hurt Will's feelings now. This is really insane. Tupac is your soulmate. You've been married for decades. My soulmate's a guy from the 90s. And the more I think about it, and the more I listen to Jada talk, the more that I'm convinced that Tupac died to get away from her. Like, I feel like... Easily. They dated for a while, you know what I mean? And then he got a taste of what Will has lived with. And then he was in Vegas and he got into it with some dudes on some gang shit and stuff like that. And they shot at him and he thought about what life would be like with Jada. And so he just leaned into the bullet. She said they haven't been together. Her and Will have not been together since 2016, which does make the slap more confusing now. That's right, because like that, they haven't lived together since 2016. Now it feels less like you were defending your wife and more like you just wanted to hit Chris Rock. Like, turn that man to a tambourine for no reason. That's insane. It really is. Like, what? Not even defending your wife at this point. You were defending your neighbor, I guess. Haven't lived together since 2016. It also makes the entanglement more confusing now. Watching Will and Jada is just like the Black Inception. You know what I mean? It's just a nightmare and a nightmare and a nightmare. There's twists that nobody asked for. What? Entanglement. Because then, this is my thing. If they weren't together, why'd they have that whole talk acting like they were together? It made them look worse. Why did they do that? It made her look like a cheater and him look like a cuck, but then they weren't together. So what's the big deal now? I mean, the big deal is that she fucked her son's friend, which is... A lot of people don't know that. That was Jaden's friend. So Jaden over there waiting for play dates and stuff. Ain't nobody showing up like it's a Brazzers video. It's so chaotic. No, it's just very chaotic. And look, I want to be fair for a second. I do want to be fair. Everyone comes for Jada and everybody shits on Jada so hard. And I get it. It's easy because she won't stop talking. But like, some of this is on Will. We can all agree about some of this is genuinely on Will. People blame Jada for the slap. That's not her fault. That's a grown man. And he got up there And he slapped another grown man. You can't blame her for that. It's not like she used her powers. And people blame a lot of the marriage stuff on just Jada. Will is also married to Jada. You know what I mean? He could get a divorce if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. He does not want, and if you pay attention to the interviews, he said it. Divorce is not an option. He'd rather them live as single people and still be married than to get a divorce. Which is weird. It is weird. I understand. For a long time, they were the symbol of black love, especially in Hollywood, right? And that's a symbol that he carefully curated that maybe she didn't want to be a part of, but it's one of the reasons he can't let it go, because it's a failure that he will not accept, right? But to just live as two single people but still be married is weird. It's very odd. Who is it for? It's not for them. They're not together. It's not for us, because now she aired it out. Everybody knows. It's not for the kids, because they're already weird. So who is this for? And like, I mean, it must be rough. I do get it. I have empathy for both of them genuinely, because I think Will, you know, came on strong, wants to make it work and everything, and Jada was just not having it. And a part of me, you know, I'm wrapping up, but just a part of me, a part of me gets it. Because if it's not the life that she wanted, it shouldn't be the life she accepted. That's fair. You're an adult in the world and you make your own decisions and you need to live by them, right? But also, to be fair to her, I don't have a gorgeous millionaire trying to fuck me and marry me. I don't know. It probably seems pretty hard to turn down. I'm not gonna lie. Like if Zendaya walked in here right now and y'all look like you're together, if she told you, bro, if she was like, I want to marry you and be with you for the rest of my life, you'd probably be like, look, I'm in a happy relationship and I found my happiness. I hope you find yours. I'm not saying it'd be easy to say to her. You'd probably say it after I do, but I don't know if y'all saw, but Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty on all charges. If you don't know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, he's the dude who looked like somebody microwave Shia LaBeouf. He was behind a multi-billion-dollar crypto scandal, and you know, took a lot of people's money. Had a lot of powerful friends, so he could take a lot of people's money. He was found guilty, and you know, he made a serious mistake. He stole money from rich people. Well, when you think about it, it's really all he did wrong. If you steal from the poor, you're going to be pretty good off. Like, I don't know. This dude is going to go away for a long time, which is crazy because I don't really understand what he did. But I'm glad he didn't do it to me. I'm you ever just, because I never got into crypto because I didn't understand it, so you ever just be so dumb you miss a whole tragedy? Because I saw the whole thing coming. I was having FOMO and everything, and then everybody started losing their money. I was like, maybe it pays to not read sometimes. Maybe it's to my benefit that I have stayed as ignorant as possible on very specific subjects in life. I was having a conversation with a friend from back home, and so many things worked in connection together to get me where I am. I saw this article about this guy. I think his name's, I might be mispronouncing it, but Brian Mwende, and he is in Kenya, and he was a lawyer. He was a fake lawyer. And he won 26 cases straight. $26 cases straight, one after the other. WWWW. And then they finally caught him. And now he is awaiting trial, where I pray he represents himself. That's phenomenal. 26. You got fake, and apparently it's a whole thing. I didn't know this. In Kenya, this is a whole thing. There are a bunch of fake lawyers, because he was just the first one. There's a bunch of fake lawyers that just never actually passed the bar, but they've been practicing. I guess they got a storefront or something. Like, I don't know, you just walk in and you're like, you seem like a lawyer. You know, the only way I know any lawyer has been a lawyer that I've ever worked with was the paper on the wall behind their desk. If that's fake, I have a fake lawyer. That's my favorite story, though. My favorite thing that happened was Paris Fashion Week. If y'all aren't familiar, Paris has Fashion Week, and all these people high up in the fashion world, rich people, celebrities, they all descended on Paris for a week to see and be seen and stuff. And while they were there was an outbreak of bed bugs, which is hilarious. It couldn't be. You gathered all the richest people in the world together in one place and gave them bed bugs? Are we sure this wasn't an activist? You sure this wasn't Greta Thunberg trying new things? You know what I mean? Just her sitting there like, you take a jet, you pays the price. You know, could have been, we don't know. But it was amazing. They gave all those rich people bed bugs. It made me laugh so hard because it's Fashion Week, so half of them dress like bed bugs to begin with. So like, bed bugs probably thought it was mating season, you know what I mean? They were seeing them walk by like, okay, come through, thickness. I'm gonna take a bite of you later. But no, people from Fashion Week spoke to the press and the public. People from the local government spoke to the press and the public and everything. And mostly everyone was trying to maintain a sense of calm the entire time, right? We're very sorry that this is happening. This is not a reflection on our beautiful city. We're doing our best to move people. Just please stick with us, right? But there was one person that was my favorite. The deputy mayor also spoke to the public and the press. But when the deputy mayor came out, he was like, it's an outbreak. No one is safe. What kind of leader says no one is safe? We just came out of a global pandemic where no country's leader said no one is safe, even when no one was safe. That's crazy. Then the mayor, because the mayor came out, she was ready. She was like prim, proper. She made me feel reassured, and I wasn't even in Paris, right? And then she got this assistant-ass mayor behind her. No one is safe. She's probably like, get him out of here. It's crazy. No one is safe. Every leader I've ever had has tried to maintain a sense of calm in a crisis. I remember when I was in middle school, in English class. And English class was after lunch. And I had seen this kid at lunch, and he had a nasty-ass lunch. I don't know what it was, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, he gonna be sick. That is disgusting. And so then I sat as far away from him as I could, corner of the classroom. And then middle of class, sure enough, his stomach started bubbling. And we all hear it. He just over here taking notes like... looking at us like, y'all don't hear me, right? It's like, of course we hear you. His stomach is loud as hell. And then in the middle class, he jumps up and runs out. And on the way to running out, because he was very sick, he threw up on the back of like 7 kids' heads. And our teacher said, calm down. I know y'all just got thrown up on. Let me get some towels. It's gonna be fine. She didn't say, no one is safe. You see what I mean? I worked at an Italian restaurant that burned down, right? It burned down, and even as the head chef was trying to put the flames out on his back, no one yelled, no one is safe. We just tried to put this man out. Actually, one of my favorite things about when that happened was, okay, so the chef is on fire, right? And then the line cook ran out to the dining hall where everybody else was, and then just yelled to the whole dining hall, we on fire, motherfuckers! Which is like as informative as it is unhelpful. Like, he's telling them the details, but not enough to get them moving. Also, we are not on fire, just he is on fire. Some of the building is on fire, but mostly as we, it's just him. He on fire by himself, right? And so no one knows what to do, because even if someone ran in now and was like, we on fire, motherfuckers, you wouldn't immediately jump up and run. They looked at him and they were like, so is he on drugs or what's And it wasn't until the chef ran out behind him out the door with a couple flames still on his back that everybody cleared out. He yelled, we on fire, motherfuckers. He didn't yell, no one is safe. What would even possess you to put the words to get to the public, no one is safe? Like when I think about it, now that I think about it, I think that was that deputy mayor low-key admitting he had bed bugs. That's what it was. It had to be. No one is safe. That means I'm not safe. No one is safe. I wish there was video. There's no video of it happening. But you can tell that this is the case because anytime one of our leaders has to speak to us, they're calm because it's not their problem. That's what's happening. I grew up in Louisiana. Our whole state would get slammed by hurricanes, and the governor would come on TV and be like, we're gonna stick in this together, all right? We're all in this together. He's clearly in Massachusetts, by the way. We're all in this together, all right? Y'all just stick with me, we're gonna get through this. You know what I mean? I think that dude freaked out because it was his problem. It's hard to stay calm when you're in the middle of something, you know? I wish there was video. There's no video. I wish he would just come out, because you know he yelled it. You know, he was like, no one is safe. It's happening to everybody, including really cool people who don't deserve this. God damn, I wish there was a video just to see him be like, it's an outbreak, y'all. We doing our best, but this is bullshit. I thought I had it all figured out, you know. I was sexting. And sexting's a very precarious situation. You want to make sure you're sexting at the right time, you know? Because if it's like 8 o'clock, you still got other people texting you, you know? You don't want to accidentally send a text that's incoming to somebody because you opened the thing, you know what I mean? And it's also like, what if you're not that skilled? Like, what if I'm not good texting with just my left hand? Now you texting typos and stuff. It's knocking the sexy right out of your sexting. You know, it's like, I'm gonna fud your bass. It's like, nobody's into it now. You know? So I had an idea. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. I had never heard anybody doing this, but in my mind, it was the best thing to do. I was like, I'm just gonna speak to text. So that way I don't gotta worry about the other hand and everything, and I can just like get in the zone and stuff. I don't have to worry about other people texting me and everything. And it went horribly wrong. Because I wasn't at home. I was at my childhood home. So I was in my room, but it wasn't my house, you know? And it was, 9 o'clock or so, and we were sexted. That look, I'll read you the thing right now. This is what. Okay. All right. So she's like, "Oh, okay. And what's good? What would you do if you were here right now?" And then I was like, "Girl, I would tear those clothes off." And Mom, what are you doing in here? Mom, I had the door closed. You can't just open the door. I was just coming to see if you wanted dinner. No, I'm okay. Mom, get out right now. Boy, how you gonna tell me to get out somewhere in my house? I'm sorry, Mom, please, can you please leave and close the door? You know we don't have closed doors in this house. Which is true, that's a very like black family thing of like you not closing the door in my house. What you up to in there? And I was like, Mama, please leave, please, please leave. And she was like, all right, what's the big deal? I was like, nothing, Mom, just please get out of here. So anyway, girl, I would say... All right, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.
Boston, please make it loud for for Josh Johnson!
I saw where the lottery, at least at the time that I'm speaking, has worked its way up to $1.8 billion. That's a lot. It's so much you wonder, should I?
Absolutely.
That's how they get you. You know, growing up my entire life, I knew people who played the lottery. And I don't know if I know any winners. I just know a few people went missing. And like hard missing too, not even a funeral. Like, I don't know, $1.8 billion. That means even after they tax you, tax is gonna take about half of that, right? Even after they tax you, you're probably gonna be a billionaire. That's instantly. A billionaire. And I'm not saying this to like, you know, beat down on anybody or be disparaging, but it's like, who plays the lottery? People who need the money. So imagine needing money and then becoming a billionaire in like a day. A day. You needed 252. You had rent and a car note, and now you're a billionaire. A billionaire. You gotta capitalize it's $1 billion. Even if they get you real good, even if they tax you to death, you're still high millionaire. And with some good investments, you'll hit billionaire over time. Look at. I don't think y'all understand. This is the thing, we think we understand what billion is because billionaires keep playing in our faces. But we have no comprehension of how much money that is because we're people. Forget like multiple, a billion. You can't even waste that, $1 billion. You can imagine. Oh, I had some bad investments. $1 billion's worth of bad investments? That's enough to topple a small country. No, because I look at the billionaires of the world and the high millionaires, so almost billionaires of the world. And in a couple of the examples that I'm thinking of, right? If you make it to billionaire status, whether it's through valuation of your country or your company, or whether it's through valuation of your company or just general assets and everything over time, if you hit that billion status and you didn't grow up with a ton of money, like if you're already a billionaire, it almost doesn't count. You know, you'll see billionaires, they're the sons of billionaires, and they'll be like, I made my own thing. It's like, you didn't though. But you didn't. Like you never really did anything. Like it's, and look, I know you probably worked really hard, but your hard work had a $1 billion head start to it. So it's just, you could make a bad idea worth $1 billion. If you put enough money behind it with enough time. Look at Crocs. And look, that's not me. No, look, that's not me just dunking on Crocs for the sake of it. I'm saying as a shoe, you are so unprepared to go into the world. Every time it rains, you kind of feel it. I've had so many fights with my friends over Crocs, and it's not about the Croc or the design or whatever. It's about the fact that it's a Swiss cheese shoe. The holes make it a shoe problem. It is not like okay. I live in New York. And we have far too many. I don't even know the number. We have more, I believe, rats than people. I'm pretty sure there's probably 10 million for every 2 people in New York. And one time I was walking with my friend who had Crocs on. Ill-advised, especially in New York. If you want to wear Crocs in like, I don't know, like a beachy town, go ahead. Be comfortable. Let your feet breathe. Wearing Crocs in New York City, wearing Crocs in New York City is like wearing a shirt that on the front and the back says, "Please rob me." That's the level of prepared you are to go out into New York City when you're in Crocs. My friend was in Crocs, and we were just walking down the street, okay? Just nice little stroll, having a conversation. And then, as you would expect when you are walking in New York, as it is almost law when you are walking in New York, a rat ran across our path. Some people have to deal with deers in the road. We have to deal with rats on the street. And this rat running across our path judged it wrong. Was a little late. You know, usually when you're walking in New York, a rat will run across you real fast up ahead. This rat must have had some hesitation. You could tell this rat was like, okay. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. No. I'm not gonna do it. Actually, no. You know what? I can do this. Let me get. Ah! And then it ran across our path. But by the time it ran across our path, we were at our path. And this is upsetting. Sorry if you're eating. But the rat ran across our path. But by the time it decided to cross the sidewalk, we were already there. So this rat ran right over both my feet. And then it came time to run over my friend's feet. My friend in Crocs. And this rat looked exactly like, you know, with football players doing that spring training with the tires over here. The rat was nimble at first. It got through 2 holes, no problem. Third hole, rat tripped. Animals don't trip like people. You know what I mean? People might trip, be a little embarrassed, but we get up and we know we have a day to continue. If a rat gets tripped up in your crock, that's the rat's whole priority right now. Because to be fair to rats, they get trapped all the time. How is this rat supposed to know this isn't one of those rat traps that take you to rat heaven? And so this rat starts freaking out, starts like trying to pull the other leg out and everything, but then the next leg gets stuck. And so now this rat is, it has been 0.0 seconds, by the way. This rat has already tripped and is stuck in 2 crock holes. And is over here fighting for his life to get out. Is doing whatever he can. This rat over here, And look, I'll be honest with you right now, I don't even know if I imagined it, but I swear I heard it. I heard where the rat got free because I heard the little pulled the little foot out of the crock hole and then ran away. And then my friend, who had just been defending his Crocs, had the nerve to be like, I'm like, yeah, cut it off. You need to cut it off. Ran over my foot too, but look at me. Intact. And so you have even if it's not the company, the CEOs of these companies reach high $1 million billionaire status. And it happens usually over time. Usually, if you don't come from money, you reach billionaire status or high millionaire 20, 30 years of your life. And being a psycho as well, like working 80-hour weeks and like just doing crazy stuff. And sometimes you get to get ahead because you cut some corners or you cheat some people or whatever it is. But then when you turn around and you have this like multi-billion-dollar valuation, you did it. And it took all that time, but like you're, 30 years removed from when you started. These billionaires, these millionaires, the ones that don't come from like extreme wealth, takes 20, 30 years of your life to get that money. And look how evil they are. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what happens if you get it in a day. Look. For any amount of lottery winnings and for any amount of like money, when you dream about money, that's what we do. Someone's like, what would you do with $100 million? And you might even have a list already. What would you do? And you think you know what you would do. And I'm not even saying that people are lying when they say these things. I believe that people really believe this is what they would do with the money. But then you're a billionaire in a day. Nothing can prepare you for that. Nothing can prepare you for that much money being that much power in a day. I don't know, like, I know what I'd like to think I would do with that much money. Because the amount of money that you've been living on is the amount of money you need to live. Like that, like, I know that in the US, like in America, that's like blasphemous to say. But it's like, even when I was broke, the amount of money that I had, which was not enough, was somehow still enough because I'm not dead. Do you know what I mean? And so obviously people need to get by. People deserve a higher quality of life and everything. I'm not saying this to say that if you're barely scraping by, that's all you need and be done with it. I'm just saying that sometimes you can get in your head, especially when you get a little more, that you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, to the point where people around the country who make six figures say they don't feel rich, right? And some of them making the high six figures. They've done studies about this and about why your brain never turns to rich when it's you and it's over time. You'll see millionaires say, well, I'm comfortable, but I'm not like rich. And then you're glad that it's through a screen, or else you might. But I don't know. I mean, what would that do to a person? A day, a billionaire. Who knows? Maybe money really does change people in a way that you can't even fathom until you have that much money. Maybe you get $1 billion in a day, and out of nowhere, you don't even recognize yourself. $1 billion. And you're just like, wow, huh. I could use some slaves. I think that... Look, I don't know what makes you so evil as a billionaire over 30 years, but I can only imagine it's exacerbated when it's overnight. Like, I can only imagine it becomes instant when you get the money instantly. That's crazy. Because look, we all have a list. Even if you act like you don't, you do. If you want that much money overnight, You might have a list. There might only be 5 things on your list. Hey, I want to take care of my friends, take care of my family, want to travel, and I want to help in a way that I've been helping, but I didn't have the money to really push the help, right? So that's what, 4, maybe you have 5 things. But then after you do all that, maybe you have some money left over. What do you do with that money? Can you make another list? Can you make a bigger list? Maybe. But if you can't, you just keep trying. Oh, let's fix the roads. Let's try to fix the school system. But then there's still some money left over. What do? I think you might lose your mind. That's probably why billionaires are like that. Because think about it. Look, their list didn't have any of the stuff I mentioned on it. But But even though it didn't, it clearly had things that they cared about, whatever those were. And maybe they were only related to their company. Maybe they were only related to more business and getting more money. But even as those things got checked off and you tried to keep up with a list, you tried to make more goals and you were meeting the goals as fast as you were making the goals and everything. And then everyone around you is a yes man because they want some access to that money because they're also trying to climb, right? And then you finally have gone down the list so hard that you're just like, maybe Mars? What about Mars? Mars would be cool, right? Like, Mars would be dope. Does people starve? Mars, though, that would be dope. And it's like, yes, it sounds dope. And I hope he goes. I hope he does. Like, that'd be fire. If he went to Mars. Spend your fortune as the richest man in the world to be the poorest man in the universe. Because I guarantee you spend your whole life and then you finally, let's say it finally happens, you have a voyage to Mars. And let's be as generous as possible. And let's say that like the rocket works, you already sent enough stuff there that it's not like quite the movie The Martian, but it is like that because you are going to be by yourself. No, I'm just, probably. And then you land in Mars, richest man in the world. Lands on Mars, gets out, is walking around and realizes that Mars is just like Arizona with some extra tent to it. Like, looking around like, oh, okay. Whoops. No? Because money is... We'd like to think that it's more than this, and sometimes it is. You can point to points in history where it is more than this, but like America is money. Land of opportunity. Opportunity is access, but it's also money. Money is how we define identity. Maybe you don't as a person. Maybe, I don't believe any one person is just their job or their net worth. There are things that you are that are deeper than all that stuff that's going to pass away. But that is how we as Americans define each other, is money. In fact, when you get your identity stolen, it's because they mess with the money. I don't know of anyone who said they got their identity stolen and it was in a Lifetime movie sort of way. I have yet to meet anybody who said they got their identity stolen and they know it was stolen because they came home and there was a dude who looked just like them hugging their wife. And they were like, honey, it's me. And then she was like, And then the imposter was like, don't listen to him, honey. It's me. Can't you tell? And like, hey, what are you doing in my house? And then the kids run in and they run up to him. Hey, Dad, who's this stranger? What? Kids, it's me. And they're like, we don't know you. Our dad's been home all day. And then you have to fight with this dude. And then, there's somehow a gun in the house that nobody knew about. And Then y'all struggle, and then y'all are spinning, so then nobody knows anymore because y'all were wearing the same thing. Who's the real husband? Who's the fake husband? And you're over, you know, you're just running around, grabbing the gun, knocking the gun out of each other's hands, and then, you know, there's some bounty commercials in the middle because this is a Lifetime movie. But then you pick up the gun and you're like, get out of my home, stay away from my family, right? And then the imposter goes, and then runs up to you and y'all hug one last time. The gun goes off and nobody can tell who was shot until what is it? Until the Nair commercial. You know, like Nair, that one, like... I've watched a lot of Lifetime with my mom and my aunt. And so then they come back from commercial and y'all are both backing up and you're like, Somehow in a movie, whenever somebody has been shot and someone shot someone, they both react the same. I always find that very annoying. The person that pulled the trigger is like, but then the person who was shot is like, And then y'all back up. The gun falls. It falls in the middle. We don't need it anymore. One of you was shot. And everybody's backing up, and then you see some blood. You see blood, and then you see blood because y'all were hugging when it happened. So whoever got shot also bled on the other person. So it's been about 5 minutes and we still don't know who was shot. Very frustrating. And then finally, one of you goes, you'll always be my family. And the other one turns around and looks at you. And the wife and the kids go, Dad! And hug them. And then credits start rolling. The picture gets a little bit smaller because they got to roll the next movie right next to the other movie. So it's like it gets that little half-size thing where the credits are rolling, which actually sort of ruins the end of the movie in case there was any other note of anything that the director wanted. But anyway, and through the credits, through the little tiny half screen, you see the person hugging the family look up at the camera and go, and identity is never stolen that way. It's always stolen in relation to your bank account. No, because that's who you are. That's who you are to the bank, and that's who you are to any business entity is your money and the number that you are. You know. Now look, I would like to think that everybody knows that everyone's more than that, but that is how you break down. That's how you're calculated. You know what I mean? You're moved around as a number, and the numbers that make up the numbers you have are how people see you. You know? So when you get your identity stolen, it's not because they actually stole who you are. They stole who you are in a version of how people see you for your money. Having your identity stolen is terrifying because you don't know when you'll get out from under this. It's you. It's you. But the bank doesn't know that. You might as well show up to the bank like you just got home to see your wife and kids and there is an imposter next to the bank teller's booth right with you. Y'all might as well be shoulder to shoulder like, no, I'd like to make a deposit. No, I'd like to make a deposit. Because you also have to factor in what that money doesn't just do to the person, what it does to the people around them. Some of y'all may not remember this. I barely remembered it until I started just reading about people who had won the lottery and what usually happens. Because there's this myth that everyone that wins the lottery goes bankrupt and ruins their life. It's not actually true. It's about half. Which are better odds than winning the lottery. And the difference between the people who crash out and the people who do well are the decisions they make as soon as they win. And now it's almost down to a science. There are people who are financial advisors that seek out lottery winners to help them because they've done it for other lottery winners and stuff. But there was this one woman. It was crazy. This happened in the 90s. I think it was 1990, right? This woman was a server, and she got tipped a lottery ticket. And so she, put that lottery ticket in, and she won. She won $10 million. And then everyone around her turned. The people who were also on shift with her, they tried to sue her. Because I don't know if this is one of those restaurants where, sometimes you work as a server and everyone's tips are pooled together and then you split them at the end of the night. Or if it was just that they were saying that was their table. I don't know what all the lawsuits were, but I also know that the man who tipped her the ticket tried to sue her. Yeah. Her ex-husband even kidnapped her. And she had to shoot him in the chest. The chest is one of the wildest places to get shot. Because there's still some plausible deniability there, but you know where you were aiming. And then the IRS came for her, walls closing in all around money. Because people will do crazy things for money, and people will let the idea of money shape how they treat a person, Money is only second to people in the idea of something that's in front of you that means a bunch of different things. People can mean the whole range of emotions to you, but so can money. If someone won $10 million, if they won $1.8 billion, some people see that as money, but a lot of people see that as hope. They see it as power. They see it as like a salvation out of their problems. They see it as whatever your imagination can mold. Because there are some people that if you got given $1 billion right now outright, there's so much good you do with it. And then there are other people that if you got $1 billion tonight, you'd be like, oh, I have some things to revisit. $1 billion. $1 billion means, you could buy everything around a person. You could buy everything around. Imagine for $1 billion, you could hire a private investigator to find your high school bully. All right. Because let's say they're not on, maybe they're not on social, not everybody is. And so you hire this private investigator to find your high school bully. And maybe this bully gave you like a really catchy, mean nickname, Maybe it was something that happened to you, something real bad. Maybe you got sick at school one day and maybe you didn't make it to the bathroom, right? And so he called you Wet Willie for 4 years, right? In this scenario, your name is Willie. And you hire this private investigator to track him down. Maybe his name's Travis, right? You find me Travis. And so then the private investigator says, hey, I found Travis. He's living in Connecticut, and he's married, and yeah, looks like they're pretty happy. And you're like, okay, this is good to know. And so, with your money, you buy the house that's for sale next to Travis. You're moving in one day, and Travis and his wife are walking in to their home, and you're moving one of the boxes. Nothing in the box. You don't need to move. You can pay people to move for you, but and you're like, oh, hey. Travis? And he's like, oh, Willie, Will, wow, how have you been? wow, this is crazy. Are you? Yeah, I'm moving in. Right next to you. That's crazy. That's crazy. He's like, yeah, that is. Wow. This house has been on sale for months. And now it's, what a coincidence. And you're like, yeah, a coincidence. Yeah, that's what it is. And you see that not only do you have this nice house in front of you, but, ooh, Travis has a phenomenal house, you know? There's an HOA, so they're pretty similar, but overall, very big and very nice, you know? And right then, Travis's wife walks up, Susie. Susie walks up, and she's like, hey, babe. And then he's like, hey, what? Me and William went to high school together. This is my wife, Susie. And you're like, oh, hi. Nice to meet you. You shake her hand, and you're like, wow, this is crazy to just, you move to a new place, and you don't know, usually you don't know anybody, and now I got pals right next door. And Travis is like, yeah, this is wild, man. You should come over for dinner sometime. Come over for dinner. And you're like, oh, wow, how's tonight? And Travis, because this is the thing about bullying. A lot of bullies don't remember what they did. And even if they remember what they did, they remember it in the context of whatever they were going through. And so even if they were like a mean kid, they just remember being a mean kid because other stuff was happening. I don't know how often real bullies think about the fallout of their bullying and what it might have done to somebody present day, So maybe Travis is perfectly pleasant. Easy to believe. It's been a long time, And so he's like, yeah, I think... no. Okay, we do have a little date night tonight, but how about tomorrow? Tomorrow night, we should have dinner. You just come over to our place. We'll cook for you. And you're like, wow, yeah, Travis, it sounds great. All right, I'll see y'all later. You take your empty box. Walk into your new house with no furniture in it. But you don't need furniture. You're here for revenge. The type of revenge that only money can buy. And you're so excited, you don't even know if you can sleep. And so you lay on the floor of your brand new house. Because hate makes you comfortable. And then the next day comes, right? The next day comes, and you've had a private investigator on Travis for a while. You even had a private investigator on Susie. You already know her name. And so the next day, during the day, you go over to Susie's workplace. Susie works at a salon, right? And so you go over and you're like, hey, what? This is crazy. Wow. Susie, neighbors, and then I need a haircut? You do hair? Wow. You get Susie to give you a haircut, and when you're getting a haircut, when you're getting the wash, the shampoo, the conditioner, and everything, there's time to talk. You get to know a person. Or pretend to, because you already hired a private investigator. So you laying in the sink and y'all are chatting it up, and you're a personable enough individual, so y'all are cackling back and forth. Then at the end, Susie puts the mirror in front of your face, and you're like, wow, a magician. Truly incredible. Thank you so much. And then you go to pay, and then you put a $10,000 tip on your haircut. Susie's floored. What? I can't accept this. You absolutely can. I haven't felt this good in years. You made me look like a new man. In fact, I don't know what, like, I'm sorry, I never do this, but like, are you doing anything after work? And Susie's like, yeah, the dinner that we have. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. But, okay, what? I don't know, it looks like salon's closing up and everything. Dinner wasn't gonna be for a little while. I don't know, do you want to hang out for a little bit? We're gonna end up chatting anyway. Let's just chat. Let's just have a chat, and then, we'll head over to your place. And you're like, does that sound okay? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. It's fine. Yeah, I'll close up here. And then you're like, okay, yeah, hop in my car, right? And she hops in your car. It's very nice. It's ridiculous. It's whatever car is nice for the period we're in. So just imagine. Imagine the type of car, and it is that. And Susie's also impressed. She's like, wow, okay, you must have done very well for yourself. And you're like, yeah, I do all right. Because then, no matter what car it is, I assume it goes fast, right? And then he's like, actually, I know I'm new to the neighborhood and everything, but can I show you something? And she's like, yeah, sure, okay. And you drive. You end up driving to this like little patch of land that's off by the wayside, and there's a small little airfield there, and you park, and Susie's like, what is this? And you're like, oh yeah, I got a call, it was a text while you were doing my hair and everything, and there's just something I have to check out over here. So let's just walk through. And you walk through this little air hangar, and it's to your private jet. And she's like, wow, you have a jet? And you're like, yeah, I do. I mean, I guess it's a false alarm. There's nobody that needed anything. Yeah, nobody's even here. I tell you what. How about this? I know we're supposed to have dinner tonight at your place, but why don't we go to Paris? She's like, Paris? You're like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you prefer Milan? We can go to Milan. What are you even saying right now? I'm like, oh, no, I'm just saying, we're supposed to get dinner. Let's have dinner. We have dinner without Travis. And then she's like, oh. I don't know what to say. What is the tip? And then now he's invited. I'm married. No, I know. I don't know. Now? Yeah, now. Actually, you know what? And then the stairs. Wow, my heart is just skipping a beat. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And you're like, great. And so then you both hop on the jet and taxiing and everything. And just before takeoff, you send Travis an audio message of the entire thing. You add a little something at the end. You're like, this is from Wet Willie. Because now you have $1 billion, and you could be good or you could Because that is how bad things are now. We used to make fun of people that play the lottery, and now it seems like a sound fiscal decision. It sounds like a sound business plan to save a little money, put a little away, and buy some lottery tickets. Just... oh, it's either buy some lottery tickets or, you know. Lean in front of a BMW. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta lean in front of a BMW, coming at about, I don't know, slowing down, so hopefully about 12 miles per hour. You know what I mean? Enough to do some damage, but not quite kill you. You know what I mean? Like when you get hit, it's gonna make that sound. You're gonna hear some stuff. Some of that stuff's gonna be you, and some of it's gonna be the car. You might even lose consciousness for a second, but you will, you know, hopefully wake up. And there's some real technique to it too. I don't know if you saw that video. There's a dude who you could tell he was too you could tell he was too nervous. He shouldn't have done this. And not just because it's fraud. He shouldn't have done this because you could tell his heart wasn't in the grift. You know what I mean? His heart wasn't in it. Like, some people, the grift is who they are. They buy into the grift completely. When I was a little kid, my elementary school teacher got into a fender bender, right? And got in a fender bender with this dude and bumped him just enough to get a little bit of separation, but you could tell that she had hit him. And he immediately got out of his car, went into the trunk, pulled out a neck brace, and laid on the ground, right? Which, if you're gonna do that, just wear the neck brace the whole time. Then you'll even convince the person that, you know, I'm not gonna tell you how to grift, but... So if you're gonna do this, you gotta commit. You gotta know long before this BMW takes that turn at the intersection that this is what you're committed to do. And there's a video of this dude. Still cracks me up, right? Okay, so this dude is over here, and you can tell he wants to jump in front of the car. Maybe he has the whole insurance scam planned out and everything, can sue, whatever. You just gotta let a BMW hit you and hope it's not a rental. Yeah. Oh, nothing would make you madder than getting hit by a broke person. And so then it's over here waiting, right? And like, just from the CCTV, because this is how I watched it, right? Just from the CCTV and the clip, you can tell that there's some nervousness in the knees. Like, the knees don't scream commitment. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, his feet aren't amped to do it. They're not like hoppy feet. You know what I mean? Like this is like, ooh, I'm gonna do some fraud. Ooh, you about to get defrauded. Right? But he had more of a, oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. And you could tell he was thinking too much about how he was gonna land. That's the problem. Because you gotta know, if you're gonna jump in front of a car, you gotta know, okay, am I gonna be mostly grill or mostly windshield? All right? Both have their drawbacks. All right? Now, grill will push you forward. It'll push you forward an amount that will make you look dead to a bystander. So that is a good way to go if you try to do this with witnesses, and witnesses who are not in cahoots with you, right? Windshield is very dramatic, right? Windshield is very theatrical. Usually when you see, they do a lot of windshields on like Law and Order SVU. That's usually, you know, like when somebody running from the cops and they can't seem to catch them. They give them just enough room for them to run out of the street, for the cop who didn't feel like running to hit them with the cop car. It's always very convenient when it's like 3 cops and then 2 of them run after a suspect, and then one of them is like, oh, all right, And then sure enough, they're always there at the right time to just bow, right? Now, if you're gonna go windshield, just know that some glass could crack, okay? And it's worse if it doesn't. If the glass doesn't crack at all, you got hit by a big bullet, okay? But if the glass cracks and you roll over the glass and maybe you land on the side of the car, that also looks very bad. But depending on how you hit the windshield depends on how believable the hit is. Because when you get hit by the grill, you're just taking the hit, right? Just boom, boom. High risk of being hurt. Very high risk. Windshield looks a little bit more, oh no. Ooh, you got me. Oh, what will I do, right? Because you can't really control your body as it gets hit and it's on the windshield. So you hope you go over the windshield. That looks like a very bad hit. But if you stay on the windshield, it starts to look like your fault even if it wasn't. Like it's just, the optics aren't great. And if you slide off to the front, it looks like you didn't get hit fast at all. And so you see this dude, okay, whew, all right. And then he goes for it. But not only did I see him in the clip, in the CCTV video, you know, like thinking about it too hard. The person in the BMW also saw him thinking about this very hard. And it didn't help that he chose to do this at an intersection, which means they were going to be slowing down anyway. And so then he finally goes to jump into the street, and they've already come to a short stop because they saw him coming. But look, he's already put a lot of thought into this. He will not be denied. And so even though the car is almost at a full stop, he goes, obviously the claim didn't go far. But you could do that, or you could play the lottery. You know what I mean? Because I really do hope that the person or the people that win, like have a good life and do something well with it. There's so many scams now. Sometimes if the person's identity is known, that's actually what like ruins their life, because then there are scammers who will never meet this person, don't know this person, but then they will masquerade as them online, hitting up people around this person, trying to get whatever private information so that they can scam that other person, not even the lottery winner, you know? And it's why people have become more savvy. Now you have lottery winners all over the world, not just in the US, and not just for like the Powerball, Mega Millions or any of that. Now you have lottery winners in the US show up with like a ski mask on. So many lottery winners look like they're there to rob the lottery. You know? And I don't know, I just look at the lottery as like maybe one of the best metaphors we have for how America is. You know, because you know, we all participate. That money is pooled together, and it is, and I don't mean in terms of ownership, I just mean in terms of how the money came to be there. It is all of our money. It is all of our money pooled together for 1 to like 6 people to have. In fact, sometimes you'll watch the lottery. You'll watch someone win and you'll be like, huh, wow, I worked at a company like that. That's crazy. Because some of what the lottery of trying to make it in America is like is luck. We like to think it's hard work, because then that means everybody could do it. But it's not actually the case. I know people who have worked hard my entire life, and they were on a hamster wheel. They were on a treadmill, and they were just trying to keep up because somebody was pressing the speed up on the hamster wheel. That's what it feels like is happening to everybody right now. You know, you're doing your best, and the speed just keeps... And then, you know, some people are on a treadmill where the speed just keeps getting increased. Some people, look, to their credit, they have some golden handcuffs. Maybe they're doing a little bit better than everybody, but the margins that they live in are just as thin. And so they're on like a Stairmaster. They're up higher than the people on the treadmill, but, you know, they still run the risk of falling off at any given point. And so the other person's running as hard as they can. This person's stepping as high and as fast as they can, because if they can skip a step, it's not going to keep them good forever, but it'll keep them level for a while. And so everybody's working as hard as they can. People who make six figures are still thinking, I don't really have enough to get by. That sounds crazy to anybody who's living off of less than 50K, somewhere where the standard of living, you need to be at like 80K. There are people scraping to get by. And so rather than just accepting that this gym sucks, people just keep going as hard as they can until, you know, until they either their heart gives out or they end up in one of those like fail videos. Oh. Because look, it's $1 billion. It's a billion. That's a lot. And I know it's the lottery, and I'm just making an example. I'm not specifically speaking to everyone to like go run up to the lottery office or something. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. I think that we have let the lottery basically become one of the better ways to get ourselves out of a mess, you know? And it only gets you out of the mess. Maybe you can bring some people along with you. That's nice. That is nice. But you don't know everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you know your friends and your family, and that'd be very sweet for you to take care of your friends and your family, but you don't know everybody, and you don't know everybody's intentions. You don't know what everybody's going to do with the money. You don't even know if giving some of these people the money is the best thing to do. You have no idea. And maybe it's why, speaking outside the lottery now, maybe it's why like people shouldn't be able to amass that level of wealth. Not because I want to take from somebody the thing that they have for whatever reason. Maybe they really did earn it. I don't see how, but like maybe they really did earn it. Maybe they deserved every like $50 million bonus that they ever gave themselves, right? Maybe they know their heart and they know that they really deserve this money. But maybe you know, they laid off a bunch of people and they bought a bunch of stock back and they did some stuff to do some stuff to get some stuff, you know? And so I'm just saying is, you know, it's one thing when it's a lottery, it's a different thing when it's like our entire, you know, because then they wonder, I don't know. Then they wonder, they're like, why is everybody so mad at us? It's like, oh, you can't not really get it. It seems crazy. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm an American. I would love $1 billion. It's probably part of the problem.
Knock it.